Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. In 1848, in California, they found gold. There was a gold rush from 1848 to 1855. 300,000 people from the rest of the United States and also from outside, means outside the country, 300,000 people moved to California just because of that reason, of the gold rush, the gold they found. Now we know that in Africa, I believe it's in Congo, they found gold and people are digging there. And now the question is, the question that we're asking right now is it a sign? We also have seen in Turkey they found $6 billion worth of gold, and that was around 99 tons. So that's a lot of gold. And people are again asking, is this a sign of the end of time? What the Quran or the Hadith talk about this particular topic. Now a few things I'll be mentioning to you, inshallah it will help you and me to understand. Number one, finding that amount of gold, this is huge, in itself can be a sign. But one thing that I want you to understand is that finding gold is not directly related with the end of time. Okay, the finding of gold is not directly related. The reason for that is because we have many other signs that can be linked or that can be mentioned in the context of the end of time. So gold is not the only thing. In fact, there are many other signs that we can relate directly with the end of time. Now the conflict, some people they are saying, dear brothers and sisters, that look, finding gold is not something new. As I mentioned, they found gold in California. The purpose of this video is to tell you that yes, finding gold is a sign. It's not a directly related sign, but it's a sign, one of the signs of the end of time. So what happened in Turkey, what happened in the African countries, that these people are finding golds, is and has a lot to do with the end of time. Number one is, before we delve into this, we have to understand, dear brothers and sisters, that some people they are saying that look, finding gold was a big deal in it. I have seen people finding gold for all my life, and finding gold in California that they found, those golds really meant nothing. And those golds are found in non-Muslim countries. They will argue, and they will say this happens in every generation, that we find gold, we see gold being found. Rasulullah, he mentioned about the coming of the Mahdi, and one of the things that he will do, the Mahdi, he said, yakunu fi akhir ummati khalifatan yahsi ma la hasiyan la yaudduhu adada. He said that at the end of the ummah, of my ummah, before the end of time, a Khalifa will come. He will give without any count, and he will give, he said, mal. He did not specify whether it is gold or it is cash money. Yahsil mal hasiyan. He will give without count. La yaudduhu adada. So there are hadiths, in other words, there are hadiths that talks about gold. That talks about giving out some kind of wealth, and again it can be easily related with the gold, because there is another hadith Rasulullah he mentioned about gold found in, for example, in the Furat, in the Euphrates river. And we know that hadith Rasulullah he said, yushikul Furat ay yahsila an kanzun min dhahab faman hadaruhu fala yakhuz minhu shay'a. And this is reported in Bukhari. The Prophet he said that the Furat, the Euphrates river, will give up gold, and if you are there, falam hadaru, if you go there, if you are there, do not take anything from it. In other words, people who are saying we should not be taking these findings of gold in Africa, in Turkey, in wherever it is, we should not be taking them seriously, and this has really nothing to do with the end of time. I would say think about this hadith. Not only this hadith, there are many other hadiths where Rasulullah he mentioned about gold. So gold, in other words, in the Quran and Sunnah, is in Islamic tradition, has a lot of significance, has a lot of connotations, has a lot of meanings. So you have to think about it in that way. Some people, they also will say, well, this is, this finding of gold has nothing to do with the end of time. They will say gold found in non-Muslim countries like California. I mean, it has nothing to do with with Islamic way or Islamic in the Islamic context of gold. This is found in California. Another group of people will say gold found in every river, and this is true. Every river, gold exists in extremely diluted concentration in both fresh water and seawater. So technically, every river, according to the expert, they have gold. Okay, they have like a concentration of gold. So you can argue and say, well, brother, gold can be found easily by using technology, by digging properly and finding the right location. It's not a big deal. You can find gold there. So this is not a sign. This has nothing to do with the coming of the Mahdi and things like that. Another group of people will say, you know what, gold found in other places is not same as gold found in Euphrates River. When we talk about the gold found, the treasure found in the Euphrates River, we talk about that in context of the end of time, because in another hadith Rasulullah said, "La taqumu saatu hatta yushikul Furat." The hour will not be established until the Furat, the Euphrates River, will give up its treasure, mountain of gold. So people can easily say, brother, gold found in other places, for example in Africa, or gold found in Turkey, has nothing to do with what gold, with the gold that will be found in the Euphrates River. So yeah, you can come up with that thing too, and these people will argue about it. Another group of people will say, you know what, we will find more gold, and because we are now advancing in terms of technology and whatnot, in the future we will have a lot more gold. So brother, take it easy. Gold has nothing to do with the end of time. So this group of people will tell you that don't worry about these things, natural, the treasures that are being found, natural resources, don't worry about it. Just don't take it too seriously. This has nothing to do with the end of time. Now here are a few things I don't agree with that. And as I said in the beginning, that yes, finding gold has a lot to do with the end of time. Number one is gold in itself is not a sign, but the timing is important. What happened in 1848 in California gold rush has probably nothing to do, but this gold rush that happened in California is part of the trend where we are seeing even today more and more and gold are being unearthed. So what I'm saying is the gold in itself is not a sign of the end of time, but the finding of gold and the trend and the amount, the quantity has a lot to do for us as a sign of end of time. Because once we get used to this trend, once we get used to seeing gold coming out from river and from the earth, then you can say Allah is preparing the ummah, the people, for the ultimate sign of gold being found from the Euphrates River. Okay, you can take it as a sign from Allah Azza wa Jal. So gold in itself is not a sign, but the timing, the finding, the timing and the trend, this means a lot. This is very, very important for us to understand. Number two reason I don't agree, and I say that yes, this is a sign. I don't agree with a group of people who said this is not a sign, and the reason I don't agree with them is that gold was mentioned directly in many hadiths. Gold was mentioned found in the Euphrates River, as I said, that the river yushikul Furat ayahsira, that it will give up treasure of gold. This is perhaps this is the most important hadith when it comes to dealing with the end of time sign and gold. So Allah Azza wa Jal through Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam did link the finding of gold, the usage of gold, the gold as a treasure, directly linked with the end of time. Because Rasulullah said about the Euphrates River, "La taqumu saatu hatta," it will not, the end of time will not happen until gold is found. The Yushik al-Furat will give up his treasure. Number two thing that I have to emphasize on, because as I said, it's end of time sign, is that number three would be the hadith said there will be no poor. Now we know end of time the Mahdi will come and he will try to give some wealth to some people, and they will say that we do not need it. Okay, there is one hadith where a man would come to the Mahdi. The Mahdi will say, okay, who need wealth, who need mal, who need wealth? So one man, he will say, I need. And nobody will say but that one man. So the man, he will say, I need, and then the treasurer of the Mahdi will give him gold. He will go home and then he will feel bad. He will say, what did I do? I mean, nobody's taking that money, that wealth, that gold, except me. So he will go back to the Mahdi, to the treasurer, and he will tell them that I'm sorry, I do not need the gold, just skip it. The treasurer will tell him, no, there is no refund, we cannot take it back. You took the gold, you took the money, it's yours. We are not gonna take it back. So in other words, when we see that these golds are being found in such quantity, this is one of the ways I personally believe how people will become rich. And a time will come when there will be so much abundance of wealth, of gold, that nobody will need anything, any penny from anybody else. Okay, so we are getting into the end of time. This is why perhaps we are finding so much gold. Now the other reason is also Allah mentioned everything on earth is a sign, and I mentioned this ayat from the Quran in the past, that la ayati lil mu'minin, everything that happens on earth that you see, it is an ayat for the people who believe. And the final point why I say this is very, very important is because, see, gold, we do not know where they are unless we dig for it, unless we use technology to find it, right? If you think about it, in context of the Yajuj and Majuj, we do not know where Yajuj and Majuj is. It's kind of like they are hiding, just like they're hiding, just like gold is hiding from us. The very nature that these things can only be presented to us by Allah Azza wa Jal, it's something mind-boggling. You cannot find Yajuj and Majuj, same time you cannot find gold unless Allah Azza wa Jal will decree it for you. So the final point is, yes, the finding of the gold has, the gold in itself has nothing to do with the end of time, but the final point is that the quantity, the amount, the trend, and the timing that we are living in has a lot of has volume to speak about the finding of gold all around the world. So this is my understanding, this is my take on it. Leave a comment, let me know your opinion, inshallah, and I will see you soon again. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.